There's been quite a few recent updates around anti-cheat in and around PUBG recently. Apex Legends has also had a large update on anti-cheat. And while Apex isn't identical to PUBG, there's many parallels that they share, especially on the topic of combating cheating in each respective game. First, let's look at the update from PUBG. This is the follow-up on the recent DMA cheat ban wave from the beginning of August. They are now saying more than 80,000 accounts have been detected and banned for having DMA-based hacks. Krafton announced just over a year ago that DMA cheating is something they'd target.
12 months later, they delivered.
It does highlight how infested the game has been with DMA cheating. DMA cheats have been around for years before that, but they have got more and more popular recently. So while it is good to see so many accounts being purged from the game, you have to wonder how long some of them were cheating for. Additionally, there's another 50,000 accounts that have been banned for attempting to bypass the anti-cheat systems. These are huge numbers, but of course, some are still cheating in-game.
The efforts only block a portion of those that are cheating. It's going to take persistence to put a dent in them. Anecdotally, I'm seeing more low-level accounts cheating now, which I assume are some of the X-level 500s that have been permabanned. They are busy leveling up new accounts. Now, let's take a look at the most recent weekly report. First up, I'd like to point out how misleading this graph here is. Cheating is 95% of the permabans issued in the week. The visual indicates that it is a lot less. Additionally, you can rightly argue that teaming is also cheating. It is a solid result, but of course, there's many others out there still to catch. Before I get into the comparison with Apex Legends, I'd like to ask for your help. YouTube has a new feature that helps small channels like this. It's called Hype, and it's used to help smaller channels get noticed more. Hyping my content will help spread the message around more.
To hype a channel, all you need to do is select the option under the video. It looks like this. If you are on a phone, you might need to swipe across. It doesn't cost you anything. Viewers get 3 hypes to use per week. You can use them all at once on one video, or spread them around. If you can spare any hypes for my content, it would be much appreciated. Okay, so let's take a look over at Apex Legends and their anti-cheat announcement. What was interesting for me here was how some of this compares against PUBG. They have some metrics that they use: total bans, match infection rate, and reports per user. For Apex, total bans includes temporary bans and permabans. It's not the same as the timeout type temporary ban that PUBG does, simply because you were reported too much. Apex bans are always for rule breaking and include both high and low penalty bans. High being permanently banned from the game, low meaning banned for a week or month. First main comparison is this point here. Apex recognize some regions have more cheaters than others. This is a concept that PUBG seemed to work against. It's simply a fact that some regions have more players cheating in them than others. Pretending like they don't, or calling your player base xenophobic, it just helps those that cheat and does nothing to address the issue. This table shows a 9-month view over 3 seasons. Each season has a split in it. The launch and mid-season split are 1.5 months each.
combining to 3 months per season. For 9 months, Apex found and banned 416,533 accounts in total. As PUBG published their weekly numbers, I have added them up for the same period of time, and found PUBG permabanned 2,573,996 accounts. This isn't apples to apples, though. Apex has less players than PUBG on average.
Also, the player distribution is vastly different between PUBG and Apex.
PUBG doesn't have this data, but based off revenue figures released by Krafton, they generate over 90% of their revenue from the Asia region.
One view could be that PUBG's anti-cheat is working much better than Apex Legends.
Another could be that PUBG has many more cheaters than Apex Legends does on average. In my opinion, I wouldn't be surprised if PUBG has over double the amount of cheaters on average versus Apex. This leads me to the next interesting point, the match infection rate. This counts on Apex when a user is reported 3 or more times by players within 14 days and who get suspended for cheating in ranked. The figure is an output of how many cheaters per ranked match. Apex have 60 players per ranked match. PUBG have 64. The lowest rate Apex have over the 9 months is 6.1% infection rate of cheaters in their ranked matches. The highest is 10.2%. Basically, what Apex is telling us is that over the 9 months, you could expect between 3.66 and 6.12 cheaters per match, on average, in ranked. As PUBG's cheater bans are higher, I can only assume that these types of rates will be higher in PUBG. These are terrible results for fair play, whichever way you look at it. It's important to note that these are just the cheaters that EA found on Apex. The real rate is very likely much, much higher. Do you think Krafton would be doing a better job for its ranked mode? What match infection rate would you expect on PUBG's ranked mode? Leave a comment and let me know. I think if PUBG published a similar metric and it was accurate, it would be horrifying. However, such a metric is more meaningful to players. While it's true that cheating is impacting all multiplayer FPS games, it's also true that some games have many more cheaters than others. This is due to a variety of reasons, some of which the developers have direct control over. I think out of all the similar games, PUBG easily has the biggest challenge. This may be in part that their issue is more visible than others, like Counter-Strike. As PUBG publish frequent ban reports, these have totaled up to over 42 million permabans over 8 years, though. So it's more than the generic all online games have cheaters line that's passed around to dismiss it. Like the issue on PUBG isn't unique. While it's part true, it's ignoring the magnitude of the problem on PUBG, which in turn fuels more and more cheating elsewhere. I thought I'd make this video to give some insight as to what is happening in the broader space. I hope this was thought-provoking. Thank you for watching. And if you watched through to here, how about giving the video a like?